I'm recording myself. Okay. I know, so vain. Is it on? Okay, great. Okay, so welcome everyone. My name's Carol. Sorry, I'm out of. So I'm talking about Christian family. I'm team servant for the CLP, so you've seen me around, and some of you already know me, but you'll get to know me more through this talk as well, and my family as well. So my parents are here, and they are actually part of the Couples for Christ community as well. So they've been part of CFC since I was basically a baby, and I've been brought up in this community and through the teachings of this community and the church as well. So them being in the community and bringing me up through the community, it's really been central to our family and how we grew up. But there were definitely some challenges along the way, and these challenges sometimes because of a challenge to love. And this challenge to love not only shows up, within my family, but also through other ways in our society. So the family is under attack, and how is that? So first, there's abortion. There's the pro-choice, pro-life movement, and like I said, we are challenged to love. So with abortion, sometimes we forget that there is life in the womb. And like Zarina said last week with her talk of loving others, we are called to love others, and that loving that unborn child and caring for that unborn child and having that as our responsibility is a part of it. And sometimes it doesn't always happen. There's also divorce. So with a lot of families now, they go through divorce, and it's just through inconvenience. It's hard to love you. Let's break up, and that happens again with us being challenged to love. Next, there is the same-sex marriage, and so the family unit is supposed to be a natural source of life. It's a giver of life, and so with same-sex marriages, that natural source of life can't really happen, and it's not realized. And lastly, not everything is controversial. There's just a simple thing of people growing up, moving out of their homes, having their own jobs, earning a lot of money, and sort of forgetting to, support their parents or forgetting to spend time with their parents, even simple things like that. So despite all these attacks, there is a plan for our family. So God has a plan for our family. So what does that entail? First, I've sort of mentioned it before, so I'm just going to read it out. This is from Familiaris Consortio. So it's written by St. Pope John Paul II on the family, and it goes, the fundamental task of the family is to serve life, to actualize in history the original blessing of the Creator, that of transmitting by procreation the divine image from person to person. Like I said, the family unit, you have your husband and your wife, and they're supposed to be united, producing babies, creating life, and not as independent entities creating that life. So that's one role of the family is to be the natural source of life. Next, the family is also intended as a place for teaching children and training leaders. So like here in this picture, you've got, your dad's big hands here and the baby hands in the middle, and they're teaching their kids how to pray. From the Catechism of the Catholic Church, there's this passage that really spoke to me. And for those who don't know, the Catechism of the Catholic Church, it's just a small book or guide or whatever that it's not small. Okay, maybe I lied. There's like a UCAT version, which I guess is small. But anyway, so it's not a small book, but it's a book that sort of just teach. It's about the Catholic teachings. From these talks or from other talks, you're probably gonna have some quotes from the Catechism of the Catholic Church. So parents have the first responsibility for the education of their children. They bear witness to this responsibility first by creating a home where tenderness, forgiveness, respect, fidelity, and disinterested service are the rule. And so, with just explaining further, fidelity, faithfulness to God's words, disinterested service, serving without thinking of anything else, with no hidden motivations. And so, thinking about my own family, it says that these things are the rule. And what are rules? Rules are explicit guidelines of conduct within a particular sphere. In this case, that's the family, right? And so, thinking about my family, how sometimes when you're kids and your parents would just, you would do something bad, and your parents would be just like, don't do that because I told you so. It's like that sort of power and authority, but really there should be more than that. They should explain why they're telling you not to do something, and they should do it with tenderness, and respect for the rules as well as parents to guide and educate children. And even within my own family, this happens with my example. So my parents really have shown us how to do this through their example, and that's something that we as children could carry on as we become parents ourselves. So next. So the family is a domestic church. Sorry. So parents, especially the fathers, are to be priests in their families, and they present God to their families by their example. And just so I'll share with my dad, explaining this picture here. So when I was younger, we lived in a house, a 2-bedroom house. The bedrooms are upstairs and the washrooms are downstairs. And in the middle of the night, I would always want to have to pee. I don't know why, but I have to pee. So I would wake up my dad. Dad, come with me downstairs. I'm scared. I don't want to go alone. Help me. And so I do that every night. And so eventually my dad is like, you know what? I'm not going to come with you, but you're going to take this. And he hands me this small wooden sculpture of Jesus' face. And he was like, take this. This is Jesus. He's going to protect you from anything bad. You don't have to be scared. You don't have to wake me up anymore. Just take him. And so the next night, I have to pee. I wake up. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to take Jesus with me. And so I do that. I go downstairs and I pee. And then Jesus was there. Well, this thing. But the point was that I wasn't scared anymore. Jesus was there with me. And the dark creatures at night or whatever, they can't do anything to harm me because he was there with me. And so really simple things like that. And eventually I didn't even need the wooden sculpture. I would just go because I just knew that Jesus was there and I wouldn't be scared. So simple things like that from your parents, things that really show you who Jesus is at a very early age. That's really the role, is to to be the priest, to show you who God is. And so in relation to that, families are also family members are supposed to be evangelized in the same way that God sort of, showed me who Jesus is, and be evangelizers. So as we get to know God, build our relationship with God, we are also able to transmit that knowledge to other people and evangelize other people. Okay, so after all that, so now we know God's plan. Why is it not happening? What's happening in our world that prevents God's plan to actually happen? So God has lost his central place. So now parents no longer bring up their children in the teachings of the church. So when conflicts happen in the family, people would, go to psychology, or they would go to therapists and, have family therapy without going back to the main teachings of the church. Second is that husband and wives confuse their roles. And so Ephesians 5:22-25 says that husbands should lead their wife like Christ leads his church, and love your wife like Christ loves his church. And wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands. And so, as unto the Lord. Therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, and we know from Genesis that it is not good that the man should be alone, I will make him a helpmeet for him. And so Eve was created to be with Adam. And so just those roles that the church taught us, or the Bible taught us, people don't look to that anymore. And especially now with more women being in the workforce and conflict between who provides and who doesn't, and if people just go back to the main teachings and look to that for help, um, it would be better. And that confusion creates not only conflict within the husband-wife relationship, but also with the family unit as a whole, as husband and wives fail to get along. Next, there's too much importance given on material things. So like I said before, especially with us growing up, having our own lives, we work, we gain so much money, and we forget what we're actually doing with that. We forget the people in our lives who helped brought us to that point where we can actually, where we're educated enough to actually work and gain, material possessions for ourselves. And we forget about our families and the people in our families. So next, the family itself is losing importance. So things like social media, we're very distracted by it. And we're bombarded by all these things, smartphones, computers, whatever, you name it. That's what we focus on. I even myself, like sometimes when I go out with friends, it's hard, or there's barely ever time when no one looks at their phone. So we're very distracted, and so with that distraction, we fail again. The family loses its place. There's no place for family, for bonding with our family. So fast-paced life makes it difficult for lasting relationships to develop, and that's very true again, just with how the world is right now, and even with my own family, throughout the week, sometimes we barely see each other. Before we would, have frequent family dinners, but now it's just sort of like hi in the morning, and everyone's going off to somewhere, and even at night. So it is hard, and especially for those who don't live at home, and you go through your day, and before you would, make a phone call every day. Then that turns into a weekly phone call. Then that turns into a monthly phone call to your parents, and eventually you just forget. So we're so busy, and we just forget about our families. So the family is under attack by evil forces. So I've sort of mentioned some of these forces before in the beginning, but there's also secularism. So the separation from the church, of the church from the state, meaning that God is taken out of our school systems. God is taken out of offices. Even at work, sometimes you're scared or you're kind of uncomfortable to do the sign of the cross, just because it's sort of taboo to bring a religion or to bring God into your daily lives. And there's just that separation. So there's also materialism. So like I mentioned before, just that focus on gaining so much, and the people in your lives, your family, losing importance. And abortion and contraception, which I've mentioned before in the beginning as well. So what can we do? So that was really sad. That was really like heavy. So what can we do? What can we do? So before I go on, I want to get you guys to participate. Just as a blurb, I work at, no, not a blurb. I work at SFU. I'm a TA, and I was just saying to Zara and Raymark, who screened me for this talk, teaching assistant. So basically I work with the professors, and they have tutorials, and I tutor, kind of. Not really, I don't really tutor, but I stand up in front of them and I help them with their course material. So that's what I do for work. But every week, I always, I don't like talking, and so I always try to do some sort of activity that makes them talk instead of me talking. And so this is that part of my talk where I'm going to get you guys to talk. For a little bit only, and to participate. So what can we do? So can someone tell me what they do with their family? Fun things. Or not even fun, I don't know. Huh? Family get-togethers? Like what? I heard that. What do you do? Dinner. Okay, yeah. What else? Movies? That's good. Anything else? Yeah. Yeah, Skype. Yes, that's good. That's good. That's good. So yeah, like I said, a lot of you're away from your family, so you would Skype. With anything else, sort of bonding things that you do. Yeah. Cook together? Oh yeah, yeah. That's fun. Yeah. Oh yeah, we jam. So my family, well, kind of. Sample. So our family, we play music, I guess. Well, no, not I don't really, but my sister and my dad, they do. So they play the guitar. I try to, but I am not good at it. Um, and so yeah, so we jam, we do karaoke, and my sister over there, if you guys don't know, she did a talk a couple of weeks ago, and we're matching. So this is the point of my talk. We're actually gonna dance and then no, never mind. So anyway, so yeah, so there's many things that we can do, and despite all those forces that I've talked about, we can fight that. We can fight that with the things that we can do with our family, with the things that we can do to show our love for each other, right? Okay, so what can we do? Family discipleship. So just like that commitment, to really, that commitment to love your family, to keep your family as that unit, right? And let's see. Hang on, sorry, I lost my notes. Right. Okay. So you make that decision, you make that commitment, for God's plan for your families to happen. So previously, I talked about God's plan, and just sort of that, making that important, making it important that those things, God's plan for your family happen. Honor and respect our parents. So these are my parents. They went on a cruise recently to Europe, and these steps are called the Scala Sancta. And what they're doing here is that they're kneeling as they ascend the stairs, right? And so these steps were said to be brought over from Jerusalem to Rome. And visitors do this. They ascend the steps underneath, to honor the events prior to the Passion of Jesus. Because these steps are said to be the steps that Jesus takes prior to the events of the Passion. So there they are, my parents, underneath, kneeling and ascending the steps, to honor the events prior to the Passion. And in the same way that my parents are honoring Jesus in this scenario and this picture, we should also, or me and my sister should also honor them in the same way. And as children, like, we should do the same. And so it doesn't have to be really, really big, in terms of honoring and respecting our parents. It can be through small things. Like for those who live with your parents, give them, on special occasions, just give them your time. Make sure that you're there. Make sure that for birthdays or for any special event, that you're there with them. And for those who don't live with their parents, try to, if you're close enough, meet up with them, or give them a call, Skype, like Christine said, and just to show them that honor and respect, and show them that they are still in your lives. Protect, support, and serve our parents. So I'd like to say I know. I was darker before. I don't know. It's the lighting, guys. Okay. So this picture, I was gonna say, like, I hope to say that we serve that, and that's how we serve. But no, we didn't prepare that ourselves. We helped though, I think, for this specific dinner. But like, this is a Christmas dinner. Normally with our family, we have our own assigned roles for Christmas dinners, and so even that simple way of serving our parents in that way, helping out Christmas dinners, Thanksgiving dinners, even if you're not, it depends on what you're good at. It depends on what you like to do. Because even with Christmas dinners, like, my sister hates cooking, and she doesn't want to help and serve, right? But no, okay, wait. No, it goes on. I'm not gonna stop there. So, okay, but even if she doesn't like it, even if she doesn't like to cook, she would actually, she would do the simple things like mashed potatoes, or like help me with mashed potatoes, right? So, so like in whatever way you can. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be hard. Just it's your own ability and what you can do. Just try to be there and help and support. And this is especially important as we grow older and our parents age, and pretty not pretty soon, but at some point they're gonna not be able to take care of themselves as well as they used to. So this is very important for us to keep in mind that they've cared for us so much when we were younger, and so it'll be our turn pretty soon to take care for them. And not even now, we can take care of them now. Why wait till they're so old that they can't take care of themselves? We can take care of them now and do what we can to help them. Obey our parents. So those I know. Yeah, it has nothing to do with obeying our parents, but it was just a really nice picture to show to showcase my parents because they're just they're really lovely people, and they're awesome. And so even if back when we were younger, obeying our parents would have been hard, and even now because we live at home, but we're grown children, so it's hard. But if you really think about like I said, what they've done for you and who they are in your lives, it might make it easier to really respect and obey what they tell you. Love and support our siblings. So my sister again. So this is us when we were younger, and this sort of these two right here really show like what we are, like our relationship. Where she's like annoying, and I'm like, oh, go away, I don't want, like I'm not happy. So, but it's changed. Like that was us when we were kids, but like obviously now we're close, I guess. No, we are. Like in that family sort of way, we're close, right? And so love and support, so like make an effort to really get to know your siblings. I don't know whatever state your relationship is in now. Just make that effort. Call them more if you're away, and if you're here together, living in the same household, hang out with them. Go for bubble tea or whatever, and really try. And even with my sister, she's engaged. She's getting married next year. Wow. And so, like this next year, even if I'm really busy, I really want to make that effort of spending more time with her, because pretty soon it's going to be we're going to be spending less and less time together, right? So just do the same, because you're not always going to be your siblings, even say you're at home together now, it's not always going to be the case. So really dedicate that time to spend more time with your siblings. And even with me and my sister, we don't say I love you to each other, like we're not verbal in that way, but you can show your love through your actions. No, Kevin. So my point is, like, you don't have to say I love you to show them that you love them, right? So you can show your love through action, and through simple ways. Yeah. Be a source of unity in the family. So this was us. I chose the old pictures because they're more fun. And so as you can see, so me and my mom, like we're both kind of like angry. Well, not angry, but we're not happy. And what happened there was that I was really grumpy that day for some reason. I don't even know why. I don't remember, but I was really a grumpy kid. And so it made my mom lost her patience, and she got really grumpy too. And so we're both grumpy, and like no one's having a good time. Well, my dad and my sister are trying, but they're really not having a good time. So anyway, so it's the opposite works the same. If you have one person who's happy, right? That person can infect the others and try to be happy as well, and it can infect the whole family. So even just one person making that effort, it really it goes a long way, and it makes a difference. And be that source. Be that one to say, hey, can we, if you're living together, can we pray together, right? Can we pray the rosary together? Or can we hang out? Can we do this thing? You can be that person to start initiating those things with your family. Yes. And learn more about God's plan for your family. So these are the two books so this one, Familiaris Consortio, I've mentioned before, was from St. Pope John Paul II, and this is from Pope Francis, and they're about the family and the Catholic, the Pope's teachings about the family. So read books about it, educate yourself, and even go to events for strengthening your family. The Couples for Christ community has Kids for Christ, CFC Youth, and some of you are familiar with that. SFC here, Couples for Christ, and for those single moms or mom parents that are separated by geography, there's Servants of the Lord and Handmaids of the Lord. So really, definitely, you can bring all the members of your family. There's something for everyone, and you can bring them to the event and help them and help unite your family that way. And so the Holy Family of Nazareth is our model. Like I think Raymar, I'm not sure if he did. So through all this, it's not easy. I can say all these things about the family. What can we do? Yeah, okay, that's fine, but it's not easy to actually apply it in life. There's so many things, like I said, that attack the family unit. There are so many things that will prevent us from doing all the things that I just mentioned, and it's really, really hard. And so when you find it hard, look to the Holy Family of Nazareth as your model. Look to them for guidance. And not only the Holy Family of Nazareth, as well as the Holy Spirit. Let the Holy Spirit, call on the Holy Spirit to help you, to guide you. And pray for it. Continuously pray for it. If making your family more united is something that you really want to commit to, call on the Holy Spirit and pray. Just keep praying. And even if it's hard, through all the challenges, through all those things that I mentioned that make it so hard for us to love, just continuously pray. And wow. So now this is us. I'm not so dark anymore. So this is us now, and this picture is taken by Emin. Oh. So I was that's taken today. I know. I didn't see it like that. So yeah. So this picture is taken by Emin, which is my sister's fiance. And I was gonna. Well, I keep on. Yeah. Anyway, so I was gonna put something with Emin in here as well, because eventually he's gonna be part of the family. And that's another thing that I sort of forgot to mention is that it doesn't, when you go out and try to hang out with your family, it doesn't just have to be the family. As long as your family's there, bring your friends. Bring whoever makes you more comfortable. And that's the same with us. This is my immediate family, but our family is getting bigger. Like my aunt lives with us. Then there's Emin, and sometimes when you go out, I bring Eric with us. So it doesn't have to be, bring your friends or your significant others when you hang out with your family, if that sort of, makes it easier for you to spend time with them. Like I said, I mentioned that my parents are from the CFC community, right? And with that, it's really sort of helped them to become the parents that sort of God has intended them to be. And so my family has really shown and taught me how to love. And it's the way that God loves. Like I said, there's going to be things that attack our family. But if you love in that sort of, sacrificial, selfless, and really generous way, the way that God calls us to love, it would help in terms of really building that family. So my challenge for you guys is do the same with your families. That challenge is to love more when it comes to your family. And, especially with our parents, they've done so much for us. And whatever your relationship with your parents might be, they were intended by God to give us life. They were part of that. And so really just honor and respect them. And yeah, love your family more and build a strong Christian family. That's it.